Hello MGTOWers, Red Pillars, male rights activists, and female male rights activists. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Music Man. Today we're going to be discussing how women think. As the human species evolved, male and female brains were compartmentalized to concern themselves with different subjects. In the civilized Western world, men were taught to be insensitive to their own emotions and sensitive to the emotions of women. And women were taught to be insensitive to men's emotions and sensitive to their own emotions. This worked great for us in times of difficulty, but in the last 200 years of relatively easy survival, where the federal government is becoming every woman's husband by proxy and her pimp and her employer, we are starting to see a rapid collapse of society. In my organic computer theory, I have come up with the philosophical calculus that women have psychopathic brains and men have sociopathic brains. But we're only talking about women today. I believe it was Socrates that said, "To make a woman the equal of a man is to make her his superior." This is a reference to the innate social climbing nature of women. Psychopaths constantly try to minimize their contribution while maximizing their benefit. As government scales itself down to take care of all of women's needs, it isn't taking into account how women constantly edit their consideration sets. Women only want to think about the things that women want to think about. And women only want to think about men insofar as it benefits themselves. Which means that either you are really good in bed, and they want your baby, or they want your money, or they want your prestige, or they want all of the above. All of these interests, however, have a shelf life. I coined the phrase the renegotiation of the relationship because of a pattern I witnessed over and over again. About 3 months into a relationship, the woman would say something to the effect of, "If you want this relationship to continue, these things need to change." They say that prostitution is the oldest profession, which is interesting, because women naturally seem to equate their vaginas with money, and from their perspective, their vagina is always increasing in perceived value. Now we're going to talk about strategies for dealing with women, strategies that oftentimes have failed. Socrates also said, "If you get a good wife, you become happy, but if you get a bad wife, you become a philosopher." The oracle at Delphi once said that Socrates was the wisest man in the world, so he must have had a very, very bad wife. Everything about the female brain is designed to think of children, which means that if you are not a woman, you are either a child or you are a threat. Women, being emotional and sentimental thinkers instead of analytical thinkers, don't recognize the authority of reason and they do not participate with it. They categorize it as a foreign, hostile will. Women historically provide for their children with a surplus provided by someone else. Similarly, psychopaths, arguing for mercy and charity, are often dictating what should be done with somebody else's resources, not only for the cause, but also for their own benefit. Feminine authority usurps the authority of reason by expanding and increasing its own authority in the form of mercy and charity for the undeserving. And it oftentimes creates no value for the person from whom they are taking the surplus. If you approach a woman as a reasonable or righteously indignant man, she won't listen or admit guilt. She might throw a histrionic fit and act victimized, and try to get someone else to defend her from the alleged attack. If you approach a woman as a woman, using female communication rituals and presupposing a meritocracy of pleasantness, you are admitting to her that the feminine meritocracy is correct, and she will treat you as an inferior and teach you how to be a better woman like herself. Lastly, you can approach a woman by being pitiful, pretty, stupid, or weak, in which case she will categorize you as a non-threat or as a child and condescend to you and manipulate you as she sees fit, taking from you what pleases her and giving you what she wants without an explanation. Only if you are a woman will another woman treat you like an equal. Or I could say, only if you are a psychopath will another psychopath treat you as an equal. In the presence of a threat, herding animals create a circle that stratifies into 3 different layers: babies on the inside, women around the babies, and men on the outside. Notice that while women are closer to life, men are always face to face with death. Women have the pole position in the relationship, and they know it. The existence of the child reifies the authority of the mother. I've also noticed that while men will often not defend other men from women, all women seem to stand together as a single unit to defend against men, even if the alleged attack is imagined or not true at all. I was watching this movie Blackfish about killer whales in SeaWorld, and there was this interesting bit in there about how Tilikum was being harassed by cows because of his size. Killer whales are mammals, named after the mammary glands, which are breasts. I coined the phrase alphabating to describe a behavior in which usually older women, but not always, sensing that you are not a psychopath and you don't sympathize with feminine values, will try to provoke a reaction out of you, trying to get you to overreact by being passive-aggressive, covertly hostile, or engaging in other insane-making behaviors. Also of interest is that while evolution incentivizes masculine virtues, being smarter, faster, stronger, more capable, the civilized world, which is on the brink of collapse, counter-incentivizes those same virtues in men while encouraging them in women and psychopaths, insofar as they are using them for antagonizing men. Anyway, folks, that's all for today. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Music Man, signing off.